It's late at night, you've finally drifted into sleep when suddenly your bladder wakes you again. You sigh, shuffle down the hallway, and return to bed. But an hour later, it happens again. By morning, you've lost count of the trips. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most men over 60 tell me the same story. They think waking up 3, 4, even 5 times a night is simply part of aging. And while the prostate does change with age, there's more to the story. The truth is, what you drink in the evening may quietly make things worse. A cup of tea you believe is soothing, a small glass of wine you take to help you sleep, or even a glass of juice you think is healthy. These innocent habits may be keeping your bladder awake all night. Here's the good news: you're not powerless. By making a few simple changes in your evening routine, you may notice a real difference. Better rest, fewer bathroom trips, and steadier mornings with more energy. In this video, I'll share the 3 most common drinks to avoid after 6 p.m. and gentle swaps you can try this very week that may calm your bladder and help you sleep through the night. Because sometimes, better health isn't about adding more. It's about knowing what to avoid. Before we dive into the specific drinks, let's pause for a moment. I know some of you may wonder, can something as simple as what you sip in the evening really make such a difference? The answer is yes. And this isn't just opinion. Doctors and researchers have been studying the connection between diet, evening habits, and prostate health for years. The American Urological Association has highlighted caffeine and alcohol as 2 of the most common irritants for the bladder, often making prostate symptoms worse. Mayo Clinic notes that sugar-sweetened beverages may contribute to weight gain and inflammation, both of which can increase urinary urgency. And Harvard Health has pointed out that even small changes in daily routines, such as shifting away from irritating drinks, can lead to more comfortable nights. Think of it this way: the prostate already places pressure on the bladder. When you add drinks that stimulate or irritate the system, the bladder is pushed to work overtime. That means more urgency, weaker control, and more interruptions during the night. But here's the encouraging part. These same studies also show that when men avoid these evening triggers, the improvement can come surprisingly quickly. Within a week or 2, many report fewer wake-ups, stronger flow, and deeper, more refreshing rest. As a physician who has worked with older men for more than 20 years, I've seen this firsthand in my patients. It's not about magic cures, it's about removing the small habits that silently fuel the problem and replacing them with choices that support your body instead of fighting it. I also want to remind you, what I share here is for education. If you have other medical conditions or are on medications like diuretics, please talk with your healthcare provider before making changes. Now that we've set the stage, let's look at the first common culprit, a drink that many people think is harmless, but often acts like an alarm bell for your bladder at night. Number 1, caffeine at night, the hidden bladder alarm picture. It's the end of a long day. Dinner is finished, the dishes are washed, and you finally sink into your favorite chair. For many men, this is the time for a warm cup of coffee or tea. It feels comforting, like a little reward for getting through the day. Some choose a mug of black tea while reading the evening paper. Others brew a small pot of coffee before sitting down to watch the news. The thought is simple: it helps me relax. And for years, this habit may have seemed harmless. But then something changes after 50. The bladder feels more sensitive. The prostate presses more than it used to. And suddenly, that same evening drink doesn't bring comfort. It brings interruptions. Instead of a restful night, men find themselves waking again and again, rushing to the bathroom. I hear this story often in my practice. The men aren't careless. They're simply holding on to a routine they love, not realizing that caffeine has become a hidden trigger. What once seemed like comfort now quietly sets the stage for a restless night. The challenge with caffeine is simple but powerful. It acts like a stimulant, not only for your mind, but also for your bladder. Even in small amounts, caffeine can increase the urge to urinate. It signals the bladder to contract more often, even when it's not completely full. For men with an enlarged prostate, this effect is magnified. The prostate already puts pressure on the bladder, leaving less room for urine. Add caffeine on top, and the bladder becomes restless, sending urgent signals again and again through the night. Some men think switching to tea instead of coffee will solve the problem. But many teas, black, green, even some oolong, still carry enough caffeine to irritate the bladder. And because the body processes caffeine slowly, that evening cup can linger in your system for hours. By the time you're trying to sleep, the bladder is still wide awake. It's not that caffeine is bad in itself, it's about timing. After 50, when the bladder and prostate are more sensitive, caffeine in the evening can turn what should be a restful night into a night of constant interruptions. I once met Harold, a 66-year-old retired mail carrier. Every evening, he sat with his wife, sipping a cup of black tea while they watched television together. It was their ritual, something they had done for years. But Harold came to me frustrated. "Doc, I don't understand," he said. "I fall asleep fine, but I'm up 4, sometimes 5 times a night. I'm exhausted." When we looked closer, the answer was in his teacup. That nightly tea was full of caffeine. To Harold, it felt like a gentle comfort. But to his bladder, it was a signal to keep working. I suggested a small change. Switch his evening tea to a caffeine-free option: chamomile, lemon balm, or rooibos instead of black tea. At first, he doubted it would matter, but 2 weeks later, he returned with a smile. "I still sit with my wife," he said, "but now I wake maybe once. Sometimes, not at all." Harold didn't lose his routine. He kept the comfort, but freed himself from the hidden trigger. And with that, his nights and his mornings felt lighter. If evenings feel incomplete without a warm drink, you don't have to give it up. The goal is not to remove comfort, but to protect your sleep. Start by choosing caffeine-free options. Herbal teas like chamomile, lemon balm, or rooibos are naturally calming. Decaf green or black tea can also work, though some men find even decaf a little stimulating. So test what feels best for you. Another simple choice is plain warm water. Many of my patients are surprised at how soothing it feels, especially when sipped slowly while reading or talking with family. Timing matters too. Finish your last cup at least 45 to 60 minutes before bed. This gives your body time to process the liquid so your bladder isn't full the moment you lie down. To track progress, keep a simple note by your bedside. Write down how many times you wake to use the bathroom. Do this for a week. Most men notice fewer interruptions within 7 to 14 days. A gentle swap, the right timing, and a little awareness. That's all it takes to keep your evening ritual and reclaim your nights. Number 2, alcohol before bed, false relaxation. For many men, an evening drink feels like a trusted friend. A glass of wine with dinner, a cold beer while watching the game, or a small nightcap before heading to bed. It's a ritual, a way to mark the end of the day and ease into rest. Some men even believe it helps them sleep. "I take a little whiskey and it knocks me out," they'll say with confidence. And at first it seems true. Alcohol relaxes the body, softens tension, and makes the eyelids heavy. But as the years go by, the story changes. Men over 50 often notice that their nights don't feel restful anymore. They may fall asleep quickly, but they wake again and again. Instead of refreshing rest, they get fragments of sleep interrupted by urgent trips to the bathroom. The drink that once felt harmless, even helpful, is no longer serving them well. It's quietly working against their prostate and bladder, making nights harder, not easier. This doesn't mean you have to give up pleasure or tradition, but it does mean it's time to look closer at how alcohol truly affects your nights after 50. The challenge with alcohol is that it tricks the body. Yes, it can make you feel sleepy at first. That's why it's called a nightcap. But the sleep alcohol gives is shallow and broken. Alcohol acts as a diuretic. That means it pushes the kidneys to make more urine. So even if you drift off quickly, your bladder fills faster than normal. And once it's full, you wake up, sometimes more than once, It also relaxes the muscles that normally help you control urination. So instead of being able to hold it until morning, the urge feels stronger and harder to resist. For men with an enlarged prostate, this is a perfect storm. The prostate is already pressing on the bladder, leaving less space. Add alcohol, and the bladder fills quicker and empties less efficiently. The result: more bathroom trips, less rest. The problem isn't just the bladder. Alcohol disrupts the deeper stages of sleep, the ones that restore memory and energy. So even if you stay in bed for 8 hours, you may still wake up feeling tired. It's not true relaxation. It's false comfort that costs you rest. I once cared for Robert, a 70-year-old retired mechanic. Every night he poured himself a small glass of red wine after dinner. He believed it was good for his heart and that it helped him fall asleep. To him, this was a healthy, even responsible choice. But Robert was worn out. "Doc, I don't understand," he said. "I go to bed at 10, but I'm up 3 or 4 times before sunrise. I can't get any real rest." When we looked closer, the nightly glass of wine told the story. The alcohol was filling his bladder faster and loosening the muscles that control urination. What felt like relaxation was actually setting him up for restless nights. I suggested a small change. Instead of drinking in the evening, Robert saved his wine for a weekend lunch. At night, he swapped it for a caffeine-free herbal tea. 2 weeks later, he returned with a grin. "I still enjoy my wine," he said, "but now my nights are quiet. Sometimes I even sleep straight through." Robert didn't lose his pleasure. He simply shifted it and gained back the rest he thought age had stolen. If you enjoy a drink, you don't have to give it up completely. The key is timing and moderation. Try moving that glass of wine or beer earlier in the day, perhaps with lunch or during an afternoon gathering. This way, your body has plenty of time to process it before bedtime, and your bladder isn't forced into overdrive at night. Set a simple rule. Keep it to 1 serving, not several. More alcohol means more trips to the bathroom and less restful sleep. In the evening, replace alcohol with gentler options. Herbal teas like chamomile, lemon balm, or rooibos can relax the body without irritating the bladder. Even plain warm water, sipped slowly, can create the same calming ritual. If you enjoy the feel of holding a glass, try sparkling water with a slice of lemon or cucumber. It gives the sense of celebration without the cost of restless nights. The goal is not to take away enjoyment, but to protect your rest. With a small shift in timing and healthier evening choices, you can still enjoy your favorite drink and wake up feeling stronger, steadier, and more refreshed. Number 3, sugary drinks and juices, sweet but troublesome. For many men, a sweet drink in the evening feels like a treat. It could be a glass of orange juice after dinner, a soda while watching the ball game, or a small bowl of fruit punch before bed. It tastes refreshing, light, and even healthy. Some men tell me proudly, "Doc, I don't drink beer anymore. I switched to juice." They believe it's the smarter choice because it comes from fruit and carries vitamins. And at first glance, it seems harmless. But night after night, the same problem keeps showing up. The bladder fills too quickly. The sleep is broken. Instead of resting deeply, men are up and down all night long. It's not that fruit itself is the problem. It's the concentrated sugar and liquid in sodas and juices that quietly work against the bladder. The very drink that feels like a healthy habit may, in reality, be stealing rest. This is a surprise for many patients. They thought they were making the better choice. But after 50, when the prostate and bladder are more sensitive, even a glass of juice at the wrong time can cause real trouble at night. The challenge with sugary drinks is hidden in how the body handles sugar. When you drink soda or juice, your blood sugar rises quickly. That sudden spike doesn't just give you a burst of energy, it also makes your body pull in more water. And where does that water end up? In your bladder. The result is a bladder that fills faster than usual, sending you to the bathroom again and again through the night. Sugar also tends to stir up inflammation. And when the prostate is already enlarged, Extra inflammation may increase swelling and pressure. This creates that familiar feeling. The bladder never seems completely empty, and the urge to urinate comes sooner than expected. Even diet drinks can be misleading. Artificial sweeteners may not raise blood sugar, but they can irritate the bladder lining in a similar way, causing more urgency. So whether it's regular soda, juice, or a sugar-free substitute, the outcome at night often looks the same: broken sleep and tired mornings. That's why what feels like a light, harmless evening drink may actually be one of the quiet triggers stealing your rest. I remember Samuel, a 72-year-old retired teacher. He had given up coffee years earlier, convinced that fruit juice was the healthier path. Every evening after dinner, he poured himself a tall glass of orange juice. "Doc," he told me, "it's natural. It has vitamins. I thought I was helping my body." But Samuel was worn out. His wife worried because he was waking 5 or 6 times every night, stumbling half asleep to the bathroom. He was irritable in the mornings, and sometimes even unsteady on his feet from poor rest. When we looked closer, the juice was the culprit. That concentrated sugar was pulling water into his bladder and quietly fueling irritation in his prostate. Instead of helping, the nightly orange juice was stealing his nights away. We tried a simple change. Samuel enjoyed his fruit earlier in the day and switched to a caffeine-free herbal tea before bed. Within 2 weeks, his nights improved. He was down to just 1 or 2 bathroom trips, and his mornings felt brighter again. Samuel's story shows us this: even healthy drinks can be troublemakers if taken at the wrong time. If you enjoy something sweet, you don't have to give it up completely. The key is choosing the right form and the right time. Whole fruit during the day is far better than juice at night. An apple, a handful of berries, or a slice of melon gives you vitamins and fiber without flooding your system with liquid sugar. Fiber slows absorption and keeps the bladder calmer. Another simple step is to set a personal cutoff time. Avoid sodas and fruit juices after 6 p.m. This small change alone often reduces nighttime bathroom trips within a week. In the evening, trade juice for lighter choices. Herbal teas like chamomile or lemon balm can relax you without overstimulating the bladder. If you like flavor, try infusing plain water with cucumber, mint, or a slice of orange earlier in the day. Think of it this way: sweetness belongs to your mornings and afternoons. Your evenings should be calm and gentle, preparing your body for rest. By shifting when you enjoy sugar, you protect both your prostate and your sleep. Small swaps bring big relief and better nights. We've uncovered 3 common evening habits that quietly disrupt your nights: caffeine in coffee, tea, or soda that acts like a silent alarm for your bladder; alcohol, which feels relaxing at first but pushes your bladder into overdrive; and sugary drinks or juices, which seem healthy but can fuel urgency and break your rest. Each may feel small on its own, but together they can turn a full night's sleep into a cycle of waking, walking, and waiting for morning. The hopeful news is this: you don't need new pills or complicated routines. Relief often comes from simple swaps. Choose herbal teas instead of caffeinated ones. Move wine or beer to earlier in the day if you enjoy them at all. And save fruit for the afternoon, not as juice at night. Here's a simple way to try it. Avoid these drinks after 6 p.m. Swap them for calming, bladder-friendly choices. Track your bathroom trips for 7 to 14 days. Most men notice fewer interruptions and deeper sleep within 2 weeks. If this message resonates, type "avoid" in the comments. I'll share a free 1-page checklist: 5 drinks to skip after 6 p.m. for better prostate health. You can print it, post it on your fridge, or keep it by your bedside. And if you'd like more practical, gentle tips like this, tap subscribe. Next time, we'll explore 3 morning habits that may support a steadier stream and more energy. Remember, restless nights don't have to be your new normal. With small, mindful changes, better sleep and brighter mornings are within reach.